So Tik Tok says, when you finally choose yourself, and Tik Tok says, my soul is well. So now I'm remembering when I was 9, God told my dad to tell me that one of his 6 girls is a Cuban fighter like him. He was a Cuban fighter and then a mechanic in the Royal Air Force and a Coca-Cola manager. So he said, I'm the Cuban fighter. When I was 9, he gave me my first lesson. And then later he did a few things. But one of the things I remember the most is taking me to the mechanics and pilots reunion lunches. To see those mechanics and pilots from the Royal Air Force, that really impacted me. So I'm choosing myself, as my father said, one of his 6 girls is a Cuban fighter. So, sorry, my ears. I had 2 digger stalkers this morning. So I guess they will try to take the last things from it. They'll scavenger the last few things from it. So after the state trooper, I have to say the Jehovah's Witnesses took me away from my family. So they took away the synergy of my family. That's what the Jehovah's Witnesses did. Took the synergy of my family. And I actually forgot that my dad said I was a Cuban fighter. So I'm remembering now. So it's an angel is telling me I'm a Cuban fighter. And I'm trying to get, that's some here sticking up. What the hell is that? Oh, it's down now. Okay. So anyway, so I used to look good as a cosmetician for Walgreens, and I worked for City Hall. But as soon as I bought the second property, they started running me into the ground. The African American state trooper is who I saw. So I told the law firm who sued Medicare that is who I saw. My family was coming in town and witnessing everything. But so they take me from my family about 1967. My dad, who is a Cuban fighter, when the white American male came 1967, my dad chased him away, and then the white woman came. And I was reading the Bible, and I was reading the thing, Watchtower Awake. So what happened was, it worked for a little bit, and I learned to publish and distribute. I publish and distribute just like the Jehovah's Witnesses. But I also questioned them 2 things. I went on the Jehovah's Witness internet and asked them 2 things. And I'm waiting for the magazines to come out regarding this research. So I noticed that although Rockefeller ruined the public school so that Americans couldn't really think, the children that went to private school can think, the Americans repeat everything other people say. And it may be the African American police who was directly violating my 4th Amendment rights while I was in government. They was in Macondo and was in my house. And well, I put the miracle package together, 6 pages. Now it's 7 pages. And then I will deliver it to the head of the anthropology department, who said I have to go to court. And sure enough, I have a court page on it, really summarizing the case. And it's about, that is who I saw, and who I saw was the African American state troopers. But you have to really look at the whole package in order to see what happened, because it's tricky. They're tricking me. My ex-husband was tricking me and everything. I did not have my 4th and 15th Amendment rights in due process in my divorce. But the Americans had already started the war back Carrie Lake is not a Jamaican. She said that we went to Jamaica in 1962. So the war started around that time because the Jamaican dollar was double the US dollar. Cambridge University managed our high schools, and my family had significant synergy enough that we raised 3 children in Jamaica whose mothers worked for IMBM and the court, and they became geniuses. So obviously it was a very good program, but the Jehovah's Witnesses started to erase this thing out my head. And so the Jehovah's Witnesses separated me from that fabulous synergy of my clan. So I'm sitting here talking because I predict that as I make these videos and be my authentic self, with my dad determined at 9 years old that one of his 6 daughters is going to be a Cuban fighter, and it was me. So I add up all the things he did, and now he speaks to me as an angel. He says, fight and wash your hands. So Tik Tok is a good way for me to fight, because Tik Tok says, your soul is well. So I look bad physically, I don't look like a cosmetician for Walgreens or a public servant, but my soul is well because I'm being true to myself. And I'm trying to tell people the truth. I contact OJ Simpson's wife, sisters who don't know what happened. I say, the African Americans are permitted, because of the misogyny in the world, to run you into the ground, like they had to destroy Nicole's reputation, says drugs was involved, and then they go send somebody in to kill you. So the same thing happened to me. They tried to frame me Grand Theft Auto. I didn't fall for it. Well, they took my car up at the house in Boynton, and then they tried to frame me Grand Theft Auto in Broward. So I would say it's nationwide. And that's a troublesome problem for my people. My people are my clan and Caribbean, Central America, and South America, who I'm trying to warn that there's a hunter-gatherer culture. They stalk, track, and then they allow people who don't do anything but stalk and rob to go into drug rehabs, to have welfare homes, and to stalk and rob people like me. So it's pretty scary war, but this is who I am, and I'm gonna put it on TikTok. And I'm sorry, the wind was shaking the phone. All right, I think I covered the subject.